So I'm sure you're all familiar with this week's Rush Limbaugh gem. I, for one, am a believer. The haters are fond of pointing out that Bane had been chosen as the villain in this film before Romney had even announced his candidacy. But now it's time for you to find out just how deep this rabbit hole goes. Here's the Straight Talk Express talking straighter than ever before. Christopher Nolan planned for Barack Obama to be running in the same year that The Dark Knight Rises would be released since 1992. How could Christopher Nolan have known that Barry would run for president in 2008? Easy. Christopher Nolan directed many films, including Inception. Nobody would direct Inception unless they had lifelong experience with shared dreaming, and planting the seed that caused Barack Obama to run for president was, in fact, the act of Inception that inspired the movie. But why Barack Obama? Why not someone else? And how did Nolan even know Obama? Christopher Nolan graduated from University College London in 1993. 1 year after Barack Obama started teaching at University of Chicago Law School. Everyone knows that film students save the boring copyright law class until their last year, and Nolan was powerless when he probably accepted an offer to take the semester abroad at none other than University of Chicago Law. The next obvious question is what made Nolan despise Bain Capital so much that he would devote the next 20 years of his life to taking down one of its employees on a presidential scale. In 1992, Bain Capital acquired AmPad, originally known as American Pad and Paper. It's common knowledge that comic book writers in the 90s loved AmPad products because the solid paper they produced was phenomenal for writing comics. Angry that their favorite pad and paper go-to guy had been bought from quality paper connoisseurs Mead, writers and fans alike were thirsty for blood, Nolan among them. He knew that he could never rest until a high-ranking employee of Bain Capital lost a presidential run. Over the next months, he organized a group of UFC comic fans to sign a petition that would be sent to DC Comics. The group had only one request. Simply that the next badass villain to appear in the Batman series be called Bane. And sure enough, in 1993, Bane appeared in the series, and a badass he was. He broke Batman's back. Flash forward to 2011. Revenge is a dish best served cold, and this was the chance Nolan had waited for. Finally, a former CEO of Bain Capital had enough political standing to have a possible run at the presidency. He once again called on the power of Inception through shared dreaming, planting presidential dreams in the head of one Mitt Romney. Nolan then vowed to never evoke the art of shared dreaming again. Like clockwork, Mitt announced his candidacy in June of 2011. But how could Nolan guarantee that Romney would win the Republican nomination? Mindfuck. Christopher Nolan broke his vow and rigged the Republican primaries, going to the homes and hotels of delegates in the largest act of Inception ever. And now, the cards have fallen into place, and Limbaugh was one of the few to notice what is happening in this election year. If Barack Obama loses this November, don't plan on ever hearing from Christopher Nolan again. Oh, and one more thing. You're probably wondering how Nolan knew that Obama would win the 2008 election. He didn't.